Southeastern Virginia has been bone dry in 2022. Rainfall totals were almost 9 inches short of the normal amount as of mid-October. But a dry summer is not unusual in this part of Virginia, and growers have come to depend on timely rains from tropical weather systems to help finish their crops. The key is when those rains come.
It's just been a struggle this year. The whole year's feels like we're fighting. 21 growing season, we got, the crops were never drought stressed, not one single day. We had steady rain at the right time. If you could order up the weather, 2021 was the weather that we would order.
SHELLEY Butler Barlow says her husband's family has farmed this land since 1959. They grow corn, soybeans, and peanuts, and for nearly 30 years, cotton has been a mainstay of their crop rotation. Cotton is only raised in a handful of counties in southeastern Virginia, and 1/3 of the Barlow farm was planted in cotton this year. Days before the remnants of Hurricane Ian arrived here, the Barlows were ready to defoliate their cotton crop. That is, spray the plants to knock off their leaves and open the cotton bolls for harvest. But they held off because defoliated cotton is especially vulnerable to heavy rain and wind.
Think cotton balls in your bathroom. If they get wet, they're going to be heavier, and if the wind comes through and blows 30, 40, 50, 70, 80 miles an hour, it will actually pull the cotton off of the plant and it ends up on the ground. For the harvester to pick the cotton has to be fluffy and white and opened up. And if it doesn't do that, we'd lose that cotton, so it just doesn't get harvested.
But sometimes waiting for better weather can cost a farmer precious dollars. The peanuts at nearby Sandy Ridge Farms in Newsoms were ready to be dug as the storm headed toward them. Wesley Drake, a 14th-generation Virginia farmer, joined his family members in a harvest rush.
We stayed up literally until 4 o'clock in the morning the night before that rain started, really right when the rain started, harvesting those peanuts. And we did finish what we wanted to get done, but throughout that night, I constantly found myself checking my smartphone and looking at the radar, how close is it, to give you a time of when the rain is expected. And we're always looking at the clock and counting down the hours, and you're trying to get that last push and get it all timed out right so that everything gets home and under the barn before the rain set in. Technology was to our benefit, and we're very thankful for it in that case.
Tools like smartphone apps do help today's farmers time their harvest better.
We live and die by the weather forecast.
But the men and women who work the land still can't beat Mother Nature. They must plan to work around her instead.
We've been doing it a long time, and it's really important for everybody because no food, no clothes is a bad problem. And I preach that to people all the time.
We're just going to shoot for our regular game plan. Every year, we're going to look at the varieties that produce the best yields, and we're going to try to get planted on time, and we're going to try to get harvested on time. And if we have to work around the weather, that's just part of farming.
Despite 2022's rainfall deficit, cotton, corn, peanut, and soybean harvests were ahead of schedule in mid-October. Growers here have to adapt to both drought and flood. The Barlows harvested early soybeans instead of defoliating their cotton before the storm, and then they helped neighboring Sandy Ridge growers bring in their peanut crop.
The days leading up to large rain events like that, I call it getting it while the getting's good, If it's dry and everything is going good, it's time to roll.
Drake says this year has still been better than others. 2020 was one of the worst growing seasons he can remember.
I feel like everything we had on our farm got stuck that year, maybe multiple times, and everything had a chain on the floorboard because we had to constantly pull things out, and it was just really a battle.
Barlow and Drake know things could have been worse this year as well. Their thoughts are with farmers in Florida and South Carolina who are hit hard by torrential rains from Hurricane Ian. In Virginia, they may see lower yields, but they should still make a profit.
Thank the Lord, we've made a crop, and hopefully we'll be able to do it again next year.
Many Virginia farmers carry crop insurance to help recover from major losses. They don't make a profit in the years they have to file a claim, but ideally they break even. With the skyrocketing costs of fuel, fertilizer, and other crop products, the financial risk of farming gets higher every year. Reporting from Southampton County, Virginia, I'm Norm Hyde.